the arts really help us develop another side of our brain. I'd like to think that it helps us to develop the compassionate side of us. You know, New Orleans is one of those cities where either you're a musician or you have been heavily affected by the music. When I began with Roger Dickinson, you know, when I was a kid, that was an amazing time in my life. He taught me in such a way where everything that I had written or would write, I had to explain. Melody, counterlines, bass lines, I had to explain where they came from. There had to be some relevance to the original musical idea, which really started to make me understand about, you know, being concise. And that's what teachers do. That's what the good ones do. When it came time to go to college, I looked at a lot of schools. And what it really boiled down to was who were the trumpet teachers. I stayed with Paul Jeffries before school started. And he was playing in Lionel Hampton's band at the time. And he took me on one of the gigs and told me to bring my horn. And the band is setting up and, you know, some of the trumpet players asked me to pull out my horn and play. And then Lionel Hampton walked up behind me and goes, "Hey man, let me hear you play a blues with the piano player." So I played the blues with him, and the next thing you know, I was in the band. It was an education, being around those guys, you know, because they would all play on a high level, you know, everybody in that group. And I was the youngest guy in the group. And, you know, and it was interesting because they treated me with respect, but they treated me like a pro, like they had expectations. And I think that band really helped prepare me to be in Art Blakey's band, you know, after that, because I was getting training and learning how to elevate myself by being around those guys. It was a big transition going from Lionel Hampton to Art Blakey because, you know, the big band, you know, I'm in the section. I maybe get 1 or 2 solos a night, you know. With that small ensemble, you have a lot more responsibility. It was exciting though, at the same time, you know, because I'm playing with one of my heroes. There was no boundaries for him. So I tell people all the time, even though I was in that band for 4 years, I felt like I aged by 40. So when it comes to, you know, film scoring, I mean, really my job is to help a director tell a story the best way they see fit. Within that approach, there can be variables, obviously, you know. But that's the great thing about working with Spike. Spike, man, that dude, he respects all of the different crafts that it takes to make a movie. I wrote A Tale of God's Will, a requiem for Katrina. I still get emotional thinking about it. Just seeing all that type of stuff in your hometown is something you never imagine, you never want to see again, but then it just frustrates you. It just makes you angry. When Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans and there was talk of like taking music out of the schools, I lost it. I'm like, who would ever think of such a thing? So for me, arts and education is vital. It's vital because music education is not just about creating musicians, but it's about creating a community that really appreciates the arts. And that's what my life kind of turned around in terms of why I create music. When you see the power in it and how it can help people deal with these tough topics like this, you start to feel a responsibility to address these things, you know, because all of my mentors are gone. You look around and you go, well, who else is here but us? When it came to writing opera, that was not something that was even on the plate whatsoever. I said, Roger, these people asking me to write an opera, I don't know what to do. And he said, trust your training. He said, don't write an opera, tell a story. And once I started, it was such a journey because I didn't know what I was doing. But I kept saying to myself, just write what feels right. The job at SFJAZZ for me was really attractive because I wanted to be a destination spot. I want people from all over the world to come to San Francisco and check out SFJAZZ. We are already well entrenched in the community. So when you talk about why I'm there, man, it's because the sky's the limit. The tradition in jazz is to break tradition. You know what I mean? That's what our tradition is. We all just trying to be creative and enjoy this ride. That's it. I mean, so why limit myself to one thing?